How to generate result pin. This section shows you the value-added service Nersapp integrated for schools, meaning that schools can decide to generate result and lock it, and also generate pins and make scratch cards for students to buy before they can check their result. So for a manager of a school or for the admin, you can use this section to generate your scratch pin, for which you can use it then to create your scratch card. To create scratch card or scratch pin, you ensure that you are in the right session and you're also in the right term. But first, you have to pick the term you are trying to generate scratch card for, because scratch card work per term basis. So you have to pick the term for which you want to work with. So these were some previous terms that were in existence in this system, but we want to work with this term here called first, because we are currently in this first term and we're trying to deal with students in this term. So after picking the term, then you pick the pin type. The scratch pin can be in numbers only, in letters, in numbers and letters combination. You can also pick the length of the scratch pin. It can be 8 characters, 12, 16, 8 to 12, 8 to 16, 12 to 16. Then again, this result pin can be used only for final report. That's where you can use it. You can use it for progress report, you can use it for broadsheet or any other report apart from final report. But in subsequent development of this service, we would add the availability of this scratch pin for transcript and certificates, like school leaving certificates. So for now, how do you generate scratch pin? First off, if you leave it at this level, you can always load your scratch pin based on this setting. So far, you can see there are no scratch pin available based on these settings here. And this setting ensure that at least you must select the term. You may not necessarily select the pin type, the length, but you must select the term. To generate scratch pin, if you quickly click generate, it will complain that you need to pick some information. One of them is that you need to pick the pin type, if it's just numbers, letters, or both. So I'm going to pick numbers. Then you also need to pick the length of the pin. Let's pick 8. We need it to apply to the final report, so it's selected by default. From there we can generate. By default, based on your settings for how many content can be displayed, that's the number of pins that will be generated per time whenever you click generate report. So far you can see here that about 25 of them that have been generated. As you can see, when you generate scratch pin, they appear in a yellow background box, each of them. And at the top section here, you will see different key maps that tells you what the color means. For instance, when they appear in a green background box, it means the pins are active. Active pins are pins that can be used by students to check results. You can generate the pins and they are inactive. That means they'll be in yellow background form, meaning that even if you sell this pin here, the pin will not be useful because it is inactive. When the pin is being used or is used fully, it will turn from yellow to red background. So that means it is a used pin. That means it cannot be used again. You can only delete the pin and throw it away. There are pins, when you keep using a pin, in Nersapp, pins can be used more than once. For instance, a student can buy pin to check result on 2 report cards, maybe his own and his brother's own. So we can track the use count and we can track what is left also. At the right hand side here, you see the number of pins that are currently displayed here. In this case, it says 25. And you can see you can activate pins that are in yellow format or in orange format. That is pins that are inactive, make them active. You can export this pin from there. You can start selling it off or use it to generate scratch cards. You can also delete pins too. So this is a display of pins. You can see this is the pin names, the pin type, the pin length. It is applicable to final report in this case here. This allows you to copy a pin, assuming you want to send it a message or share it to someone. To select all the pins, you click here. To activate pins, you simply click here after selection. So as you can see, the pins have been activated. 25 of them have been activated for use. From here you can start selling pins. As you can see here by the side, you see we have 0 unused pin and 2 is left. That means this pin can be used twice. Every pin that you generate with Nersapp can be used twice. That means I can use it for 2 results at the same time. This is how to generate pin using Nersapp. To delete this pin, you just need to select all of them or a few of them. Click delete and the pins are gone. Let's generate again, and this time we want to export the pin. We can select all of them, click export. From here we can launch it to see the pins. So these are the exported pins. You can see the pin serial number, the pin information, and generated for this session and time. You can expand it further if you need more space, so you can see what you are doing there. That's how to generate pin using Nersapp.